Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalam. Slides. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. Okay, let's start a new chapter. I think I'm sure you would like this because everybody likes food, right? And we need food, and definitely food has to be digested if you want to make use of that food. If food is not digested, so definitely you cannot get any energy, right? So food is very important. That's why if we don't eat, definitely we cannot survive. The way we eat, we talk, we walk, and we have a lot of activities. Can you see here in the pictures, sports going on? You're smiling, very active kids, right? Preparing for the exam, reading books, climbing, going upstairs, climbing trees, jumping around, hopping around. All these activities definitely need energy and food, right? So before this chapter has got two main topics. One is food. What exactly is food? And then digestion. So first of all, we need to understand what is food and why it is important to eat. If we don't get food, what will happen to our body, right? So what do you think about food? What comes to your mind? Anything would you like to share about food? Who is going to share anything about food? Okay, Sabiha?
We need food for energy and for staying healthy.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So they have mentioned
And
the first part is energy, right?
there are many types of foods like proteins and carbohydrates.
Oh, very good. Yeah. So whenever you think about food, you think what normally on daily basis, what do we consume? What do we eat? We eat. Okay, name some of the food that we are eating.
Vegetables, fruits,
Yes, vegetables, fruits. What else?
cheese, eggs,
Cheese, eggs. Oh, wonderful. Yes.
drinking milk.
Yes, drinking milk. Wow, great. And what about water?
Yes, drinking water.
Drinking water, right? If we don't drink water, we are so lethargic. If we don't eat, sometimes it may happen that probably you missed a breakfast, you went to school, and then it was your PE class, and you need to be energetic right there, and then you lose your energy. You can't stand up, you can't participate in activities and sports and jumping ropes, and you know why? Because you didn't eat well. When you wake up, of course, the whole night, if you're sleeping for 6 and 8 hours, so your body's already used that energy for building and repairing and for growth. And then when you wake up, you need energy, right? So you need to have a kind of a refueling. This is something that like a car. If you don't refuel your car, do you think it will work? Everything will be there. Engine is there, tires are there, all the systems are there, but it doesn't have any energy. So the car is not going to move, right? So this is the thing that you need food. Okay, so she mentioned we have vegetables, we need meat, we drink milk, water, fruits. Yeah, these are all food. Now to broader classify, somebody will tell you you might have heard about nutrition. So what is the nutrition? I think it's probably mentioned here somewhere in this book as well. Yes. And you might have seen that your parents might be talking that please don't eat burger, or don't eat donuts or chocolates or candies. Sidra? So don't eat
Nutrition.
candies because it doesn't have any nutritional values. When we say nutritional values, what comes to your mind?
It isn't healthy.
It's not healthy, but why it's not healthy? If somebody will tell you, okay, please don't eat meat, okay, don't take your
It is,
lunch or dinner, or don't eat drink milk, I will give you every day some cookies and some chocolates, or maybe suckers or candies. So do you think that would help you, that you can get enough nutrition?
no nutrition means like if a food doesn't have any nutrition, it's not beneficial. It doesn't have any.
Yeah, it's not beneficial. Very good. It doesn't have
It
nutritional
also
value.
doesn't it also doesn't give you that full feeling like you're full.
So first of all,
No,
yeah,
you
the
you
thing,
you will keep craving for more. You will eat something, you will not get full bite, you will want more.
exactly. So there's what we, so what exactly this fullness is coming through when we are eating healthy food?
Carbohydrates.
Very good. We have rich diet, right? That's why carbohydrates, proteins, and you remember, have you heard about fibers?
Yes,
What are
Yes.
fibers?
fiber. It's a fiber is a nutri.
Is it required?
Yes, it is required.
It is required. Very good. Yeah, this is okay. You got it. This is required. Wonderful. It's a part of food. We should have fiber-rich diet. Somebody would like to give an example. If we say fiber, what do we mean? What do we mean?
A fiber like lines the stomach and it absorbs the toxins.
Wow, yeah, that's good. Yeah, so uh, is it digestible? Do you think we can digest the fibers, or?
No, you cannot. You cannot because
No.
it's made of
Yeah,
cellulose.
mostly these are insoluble fibers. You might have seen in salad and spinach that we are eating, vegetables that you cut. So the matrix of vegetables is made of fibers. So these fibers are holding all these nutritive things, the stuff that is needed. And these fibers are giving also fullness when you eat it.
Sir,
So it gives bulk.
sir,
Bulk. Yeah, go ahead.
fiber also fiber also reduces the level of cholesterol in the blood.
Very good. Excellent. Wonderful. This is a very, very important information. Thank you so much. Who answered that? Sabia, you answered that?
Yes,
Sabia, wonderful. So one of the advantage of getting fiber, eating fiber, that's why you are not, it's not recommended that you stick just to meat every day and you don't eat vegetables, or you don't take salad, or you don't eat fruits, for example. Fruits, vegetables are rich in fibers. Meat does not have fiber, right? So whatever you eat, cholesterol, red meat is full of cholesterol, right? Oil that we are cooking is a cholesterol, right? So we are eating that, so that will be absorbed. But if
What
you
is
are,
cholesterol?
sorry,
What is cholesterol?
yeah, cholesterol is like fats. Fats is called cholesterol, okay? So fats or cholesterol is also part of your food. We are going to discuss about the components of food, but that was general orientation. I'm so happy that you have good background knowledge and you are integrated think very easily. So we'll be talking about these things, how to get control of cholesterol so it's not absorbed. What I
sir,
was, yes.
sir. Cholesterol is like a chemical that is found in the blood.
Yes, correct. That's true. Yeah, cholesterol. That's why we have cholesterol test. People who have high cholesterol, they are at more risk to develop heart problems. They may develop hypertension, and because your blood vessels are, these cholesterol are deposited in the blood vessel, right? So there's a whole discussion, a part of discussion on cholesterol. We'll be definitely talking about cholesterol in a while. Okay. Okay, let's see. First of all, yes. So food is basically what do we need from food? First of all, energy, right? So think about the objective we are eating. So food is always, you could say, when you are starting food, you must start by thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We start with Bismillah wa ala barakatillah, right? Why we say? Because this food, without this food, we cannot survive. And many people may be deprived of food, they don't get it, and people die of starvation, right? So I think this is one thing that you start with, because you are now getting energy from food. your muscle is working, and you are jumping, you're running. So food is like a fuel for your body. And keep in mind that food, your body is made of all these proteins and all the chemicals, the cholesterol, the proteins are there, fats are there. So if you don't have it, definitely body would feed or eat on your own cells or on your own fats that we have deposited in our body. So that is extremely dangerous if you don't eat well. Definitely people will lose weight, but there has to be, of course, balance. So you don't overeat as well, so that you don't put overburden your body. And you should not eat less as well. You need some energy, right? You need some healthy food to have strength against diseases, to walk, to work. So this is one thing, is energy. The main source that we are getting from energy, what is the main source that we have in our body for energy? What kind of food we are using? What do we have? Yes.
Carbohydrates,
More
But
simplified form, which carbohydrate? Any special type?
sugar.
Yeah, glucose. Very good. Glucose, sugars. Yeah. So glucose. Yeah.
vitamins.
Yes, vitamins and minerals are also used. Very good. We do need that for in enzymatic reaction. Remember, your cell has got many enzymes, and these enzymes are constantly working. Like for example, growth and repair. Okay, we understand growth. What do you mean by repair?
The growth and repair. It's like to um repair damaged cells or to replace them.
Yeah, damaged cells constantly when you are walking, when you are eating, for example, your mucosal cell, for example, damage. Your blood cells are constantly damaged, right? And that has to be replaced. And what about your bone cell, your skin cells, skin on the upper layer of the skin, and also the cells that are damaged, that has to be repaired. Or if there's any damage because of any reason, right? So you need actually food. If there is no food, of course, repair will not take place, right?
So, uh, any cells that get damaged, they are replaced.
They are replaced, correct? Yeah. So
But
there's what
then, why? So they're not repaired. So then, why do we call it repairing?
Yeah,
Because
repairing is different thing. One is not repair. Yeah, repair, for example, if there is cuts, wear and tear, in case of any skin problem or in case of bones, you have wear and tear, this is called repair. So they are depositing those cells, right? For example, bone cells, right? So bone cells, when we are jumping, we are bearing weight or weightlifting, and we are moving and biking. So all these are putting stress on your bones, on your muscle cells. So some of the cells, there's minor wear and tear, right? So this is actually repair. And you might have seen, if you have cut on the skin, what happened to the skin? This is repair, right? There's a clot formation, and after a while you would see the clot is gone, and under the clot the skin is exactly repaired the way it was, right?
yes, I got it.
And what about bone fracture? This is why if people are old and they got fracture, it's not that easy to be repaired, right? Kids, for example, children in young age, healthy people, repair is very good. People who are diabetic, right? Those who are hypertensive, those who are smokers, those who are more into junk food. What do you think? The repairment process is very, very slow. It's not that efficient that we have in normal people, right? And young people, repairment is very, very quick. Every day you are washing your face and you are eating, your hair is falling, and your skin and inside the body there are many, many cells that are damaged, like for example liver cells. When you are eating, food is going through liver, right? So the cells are damaged, these cells are repaired, these cells are replaced, and you are growing, your muscle is growing, your bone is growing, your structure is growing. So that definitely need good food. If you don't have food, of course it's not going to work, you won't have proper growth. It's one of the reasons that people who are not eating well, they are also physically weak, and their growth, their this is called retarded growth. Their growth is not efficient. Why? Because they don't eat. If you don't eat well, definitely you're not going to have good health as well. To stay healthy, this is again another thing. That so if you look at three main reasons they have mentioned here. First of all, energy, growth, and repair, and stay healthy. This is a very broad term, a very encompassing or telling you many things to stay healthy. What do you mean by stay healthy? Lots of reaction that is taking place in the body. First of all, you have to take care of that. If you're eating well, your cells can easily cope up or manage all these reactions very efficiently. Chemicals in the foods are needed for these reactions. And stay healthy in case of diseases that we are encounter every day with millions and trillions of microbes in the air, right, and going around and in water and the surfaces that we are always exposed, right? So uh, to stay healthy, your immune system, your biological defense system you have in your body is working constantly, producing army of cells. We call it antibodies, right? That is why the coronavirus vaccine they are going to generate, they are going to bring into the market. What they are doing, they are basically exposing uh, biological system to that virus. So that virus, against that virus, the antibodies are produced, and that's why you can have a very good response. And these antibodies, those people who have who got infection, right, and they recovered, you might see a very good protection, very good immune system because they have antibodies. These are healthy people. So definitely those people who are already used to healthy food, they are much stronger. Their immunity is very stronger. So people who are old, people who are so young, right? Babies or infants, and then people who are very old or they have some diseases. They have they don't have efficient immune system, right? The immune system is weak. That is why they are more prone. They have more risk to catch diseases. So what they are saying, the nutrition is basically giving you, providing you energy and all substances that are needed for repair. Yes, Sabiha,
I have a question.
go ahead.
When you said that in younger people cells repair efficiently, what does efficiently mean?
Very quickly, it's very quickly, very easily. When we say if any process is efficient, we say that process is very good, very quick. It responds very well to the situation, right? Like for example, in case of skin cut. So if there's skin cut in young people, you would see the repairment process is efficient. What do you mean by efficient? That it will recover and repair very quickly, very soon, compared to people who are old. Like you might have seen old people or diabetic people. If there are cuts, you might see pus formation and it remains there. There's scars, and the repairment process is very slow. Okay, so now think about this is what the objective of the food is, that what we get out of food. Okay, this is one thing. And now what exactly is food? Look at this description. What is the food? What do we mean by food? What do we eat actually? You have proteins, you have carbohydrates, you have fats and water. The main thing, right? These are major meal that we have is protein, carbohydrate, fats, and water, right? And of course, in these proteins and also in vegetables, you have vitamins and mineral as well. In fiber as well. Fibers are those uh, uh, kind of a small threads that you might see, right? These are called fibers. They are not digested. You might have seen in spinach, you might have seen in salad. So they are good for the health. We'll talk about these fibers in a while. Aliha, you have any question? No question. Okay. Okay. So these are, you will divide this in food. These are called organic and inorganic as well. Organic coming from organism, right? From animal sources, and also minerals and vitamins and water, right? So these are some measures. So we'll give an example of proteins. Some of the food uh, that we can categorize them as a protein. Yes, Seda? Yes, give an example.
I do not understand your question.
Proteins, example of proteins, food.
Meat, eggs,
Yes, okay, meat,
Fish.
fish,
Fish.
yeah, okay.
beans.
Yes, beans, and also somebody mentioned eggs also, right?
Yes, I mentioned
Yo,
eggs.
okay, very good. These are proteins. Okay, very good. This is
Cheese.
sorry,
She
Cheese.
said
cheese. We also have milk protein, right? Milk proteins are also there. But when you say protein, mostly we think about meat, chicken, fish, eggs, right? So these are called proteins. What about carbohydrates?
are milk proteins also good for
Yeah,
us
yeah, they're very
and
good for, yes,
necessary?
yes. Milk proteins are needed. Milk also has got vitamins, it has got minerals also, right? It doesn't have fibers,
Carbohydrates.
of course.
Carbohydrates is in bread.
Sorry?
Carbohydrates are in bread.
What is
Carbo
your
in the bread,
question?
yeah. So what exactly you have in the bread? Would you like to name what kind of
What is your question?
carbohydrates? Example of carbohydrates. So carbohydrate, bread. She mentioned bread. So what do we have in the bread? Starch, right? Starch is basically there. Also in potatoes. Remember, yes, Isha?
I did not ask anything.
Sorry?
What are you asking? I don't understand
Yeah,
your question.
example of carbohydrates. Food that we are eating. Any example from carbohydrates? Yes, Isha? Fatma?
Mm,
Yes, she mentioned bread, okay, potatoes, rice.
pasta, rice.
Rice, yes, correct. They are rich in carbohydrates. Very good. What about fats?
Um, yeah.
What are
Yes,
fats?
because butter and cheese also have
Yes, butter, for
carbohydrates.
example, oil, cooking oil that we are using, vegetable oil, olive oil, and these all are fats. Oil are basically called fats, right? Butter and yes, milk also has got fats, and it can be. That's why we are making butter out of milk, right? So water we have, and then vitamins. Also, we have in water, we have vitamins in fruits and vegetables, right? And fruits, vegetable, and milk also. In water, we have minerals, salts, minerals, right?
And
So that's why we are spring water, which is coming out of the of underground or from tube well, and that's the, drinking water. It contains a lot of minerals, calcium, iron, and sodium, magnesium, and fluoride, and many things. You may have seen it. If you take a drinking water bottle, you might see composition there. So in composition, you might see a lot of minerals there. Okay. So fibers, I think
vitamin
yes, Sabiha.
vitamin C are found in citrus fruits.
Citrus fruit, yes, exactly. Fruits, vitamin C, lemon, and all citrus fruit. You're correct. Vitamin C is there. Very good. And you have vitamin D, A, and D in milk, for example, and fish oil also. You have vitamin. So now you will remember, okay, when you are thinking about food. So if you forgot what kind of what are different classes of food that we are eating, what are different categories. So you think about your own food. You are eating meat, so that is protein, right? You eat bread, that is carbohydrate. And you remember when you're cooking or you're using butter, cooking oil, that is fats. We drink water. So just think about lunch or dinner or breakfast so you can easily see what are different kind of food that we are eating, right? So you cannot omit any of them. It has to be balanced diet. When we say balanced diet, it has to be it has to have all these major components. Should have proteins, carbohydrate, fats, water. Okay, some foods may have a lot of proteins, some may not have proteins at all, depends. Okay, some food may have lots of carbohydrates or fats. Okay, different foods have different vitamins and minerals. This is very good, right? This is why we say that spinach, for example, is good in iron, and banana is good in potassium, for example. And that's why you should not restrict to one. If you are eating citrus, you're getting more vitamin C. Vitamin C is needed. You need iron as well, right? Iron is there in fruits and apples and spinach and many other green leaves, you may find these minerals. So they are very important. So if we want to stay healthy, you need enough food and you need variety of food. And when we say variety of food, we call it a balanced diet. Why? What is a balanced diet? Yes, anybody would like to say something about balance, something which is
Balance
balanced?
balanced diet is like
Can I tell Ishal?
Yeah,
you
okay.
have the right.
Yes, Ishal.
Balanced diet is
Can we
balanced
give
diet
chance to
is
Ishal because she didn't participate? Yeah, okay, go ahead, Ishal.
balanced diet is when you eat a specific amount of food, not too much or not too less, and it's not it's and it is and it's good for your body.
Is good for your body. You are not restricting yourself to particular diet. You are just picking things that are from protein, carbohydrate, fats, and all the stuff, right? You're eating vegetables also, you're eating meat, carbohydrates. So you have a balanced diet. Remember that a balanced diet will change depending on person's age, gender, and how active they are. So what do you mean by these sentences? How would you clarify that balanced diet may not be the same for all? It might be that I would say this is my balanced diet, right? But it may not work for others. So would you like to explain that? What do you mean by this? That it may change on age, depending on the activity, depending on the gender.
Like if you are doing a lot of exercise, that means you need more energy, because if more energy is getting lost in that exercise, you also need more energy to keep yourself stable.
Correct.
That's
You
why.
need more energy. If you are athlete, you are involved in, yes, in sports activities, strenuous physical activities. Definitely, you probably need more fats as well, right? Is an energy, because otherwise you cannot run well, because your body is constantly using all the energy storage. If you don't have enough storage, you cannot have good performance. Yes, Aliha, beta, you have any? You want to add something? Aliha, your hand is raised.
Yes, I wanted to say that a 10-year-old girl and a adult office worker. So, an adult office worker will need more food, because he works more than the 10-year-old girl.
Very good. That's the age difference. Wonderful. Excellent. 10 years old or infant. Of course, you cannot
Also,
give
that why adult might need more energy is because he has a bigger body, so he needs more
bigger body,
energy to
bigger
control.
muscle, and bigger, yeah, requirement, energy, working. Babies, for example, infant, the newborn, you
And they
cannot give
work
him,
all the time.
sorry,
And they work all and the and the office workers, they work all night, so they need more food and
office worker needs, what?
more energy.
Yeah, it's fine. Depending on it. In case of office worker, if you are sitting, for example, you work most of the time you are using just sitting on a laptop or computer and or phone and working on not physical activities. Of course, you don't have to use a lot of sweets or fats, for example, because you are not moving. Although it's not recommended to sit for hours and hours without moving. Yes, but those people who have long hours duty and they have to sit like receptionists, for example, if they are eating more sweet and more fatty food, so definitely it will build more mass and they will become obese, and they, because they're not actually consuming much energy, right? So there's one thing that you should keep in mind, like for example newborn, of course they are not having much walk, and other growth is growing slowly, so you cannot give them uh, meat, for example, or any stuff, because they cannot digest it properly. So it depends on the age, right? So they have to have soft food, for example, for the first 2 years their mothers are feeding, and then on totally on breastfeeding, and then they are gradually shifting to soft diet where they are cereals and all the food that we have soft and gentle. And then gradually when person is growing, definitely you can eat a variety of food. And now think about old people. Of course, those people who are old, they also do not have much physical activity, and their body mass is also decreased, and their digestion system is also weak, and that's why you may not use the same food. You not give them protein rich diet, because their kidney function and their liver function, heart function is also affected. Yes, Aliha, any question? You want to add something? Okay. Yes, Aliha, you have question? Anyone? Okay.
In the there's also saying that the balanced diet will change depending on the gender as well. How will it change depending on the gender?
Yeah, for like men, for example, or men and women, women have different requirement. Like for example, women undergo through pregnancy. So during that pregnancy timing, when they have childbearing age, so at that time they definitely need more vitamins, minerals, and they have specific food requirement, right? And especially the iron, because blood loss and anemia, their red blood cells or blood count is also low, so their requirement will also be different compared to men, where they don't have. So it also depends on the gender, right? So gender, age, and activity as well. And activity is any kind. If you are adult and not active, so you have to balance both intake and input and output. Okay, so your input, if you are eating more but you are not consuming that, so now it is dangerous for the body, because body has to have extra load, and it's going to build up in just mass, increasing your body weight and also decreasing your body strength. But if you're eating well and you're doing much exercise and you're walking and healthy food, and definitely is going to have a good impact on your body. It is going to have good effect, good impact on your body strength, on your body immunity. So that is why we need balanced diet, or the diet may be changed. People who are diabetic, for example, of course they cannot eat much sweets. And people who have hypertension, you would say that don't eat much salt and sweet and oil, like, because they have high cholesterol in the blood. So definitely after age 45 or 50, when you go further, so the chances are that kidney problems, blood pressure, and heart problem will develop. So your body cannot manage these minerals very easily. That's why your doctor would say, please don't eat much fats, and try to decrease on salt intake. Don't take much salt. Don't use much sugar in the tea. Don't eat sweets, for example, and try to cut down on the number of breads that you are eating, right? Because the age is now different. It's more adult or more grown up in old age, senior age. So many things. So that's why your balanced diet will change, okay, according to your requirement. So you can see here fruit juices, you have vegetables, and you have also bread here, and you have some French fries here, and also sweet, depending on. So balanced diet, always stick to healthy diet. Healthy diet means you have to have vegetable, fruits, meat, proteins. Of course, like donuts or cookies or cakes and candies, all the stuff, maybe good flavor, ice cream or chocolate, are not giving much nutrition. I'm sorry. Why? Because they do not provide the things that are available in other natural food. These are processed food, and they add something not naturally balanced. Okay, so till here it's clear. So now they are talking about, as I mentioned, so who is going to tell us what are different components of food? I'll say, what are different kind of food? How do you categorize food into different types? Who is going to tell me? Just in a quick review, if you have forgotten, you think about your dinner or think about breakfast or lunch, so you may remember. Yes, Sabiha.
Proteins, carbohydrates, fats, fiber, water,
Yes, very good. Yes.
minerals.
Sidra, you want to add something? You want to comment? Yes, Sidra? Okay, let's go. So now we'll be talking about different food, what is protein and why it is important, okay? So you can see here proteins, as you can see our body, primarily your cells. First of all, billions of cells in your body, they are made of proteins. So if you don't have proteins, definitely you cannot survive. And now they're talking about what are the structure. Yes, Sabiha, you have question?
No,
Oh,
I just forgot to lower.
okay, no problem. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Okay, let's talk about proteins now. So they're saying what proteins are. First of all, think about your skin is made of protein, your body tissues, your cells are made of proteins. Many enzymes are proteins. You remember we talked about enzymes. Hormones that we have mentioned are made of proteins. So let's talk what exactly are proteins. Chemically, they are saying that they are made of atoms like carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and that's also in carbohydrates, right? It's common. Carbohydrates do have carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Proteins have nitrogen and sulfur as well. Okay, so this is the chemical, how they are made. So they are in different ratio, of course, and uh, how many carbon or hydrogen oxygens are there. So you don't have to go into that detail here, but this is the chemical composition of proteins, that they are made of chemical. You can see atoms are making these protein molecules. So when you grow, your body needs proteins, right? Because you need make new cells. Some of the cells that are developed during your growth, you need hormones, you need enzymes, and you need a lot of different cells that are damaged or repaired, or maybe new cells are formed. So to make new cells, your body needs proteins. And what we are getting out of proteins, what we are getting out of proteins, for which is beneficial for our body. Yes.
The
Sorry.
proteins they
Are we getting
gives
amino acids?
We are getting amino acid. What it gives, what protein gives you? Proteins are giving you amino acids. So amino acids is basically the thing which is needed for the body. And because your meat, when you're eating meat, you are basically consuming protein that has to be digested. When we break down this meat into smaller unit, that's called amino acids. And these amino acids are taken up by body, and your body is using amino acids and bringing a different combination to make proteins. For example, hormones, you might say insulin is needed. So now these amino acids are linked together in different sequence, in different ways. The way your alphabets, right? They are saying 20 amino acids are there. And how many proteins? You cannot count them. Subhanallah. Out of these 20 amino, the way if somebody will give you 10 alphabets or 26 alphabets, you can write whatever way many pages you want, right? You can combine A, B, C, D, and you can have different words: cat, bat, bed, rat, tear. And this way amino acids are also combined like alphabets. So these are called peptides. Okay, what are these are peptides. When we have many amino acids linked together, this is called polypeptides. Polypeptide means you have many peptide links, so they are linked together. Okay, so you can see here how this protein is different from this one. They are the same or they are different. If they are different, why? They are saying how these are two proteins are different. Anybody would like to comment on that? So now you got it, that just like alphabets, you have amino acids for proteins. When amino acids are linked together, depending on how long the chain is, so that is different protein. But in this case, the chain length is the same, but they are saying these are two different proteins. How do you say that these are two different proteins?
Can I tell?
Yeah, okay.
The order of the order of different types of amino acids are different.
Yes, exactly. The order is different. Even if this single amino acid is replaced by another one due to mistake, and this is how we get diseases also. that protein will not be normal. That will be abnormal. And your DNA and your cellular structure inside machinery, that is the control system, which is the nucleus of the cell, is regulating these sequence, that how you want that insulin has got particular sequence. So if that sequence is maintained, that is healthy insulin. That is what insulin is working, is a hormone which is breaking down glucose, which is working on glucose to utilize glucose, uh, uh, by your body. If somebody doesn't have enough insulin, so that person is called diabetic. So they cannot get uh, they cannot manage glucose level, right? So glucose will build up, and they have diabetes. They will have high glucose level in their blood. So that is how amino acids are also formed. So what we are getting out of proteins, so that we are basically getting amino acids, right, from proteins. And amino acids are linked in a sequence, and this sequence is very important. I don't see that. I would say that these two are different proteins. Why? Because look at this. The amino acid is different. Look at the shape and color. So consider this is one amino acid. So if you take these three, one, two, three, this is called triangle and square, and then you have hexagonal. So here is first, again, square, maybe you could say a hexagonal, triangle, and triangle. See, so this is totally different. Yes.
I wanna ask something.
Isha.
That um,
Yes,
the
Beta.
first are amino acids, so then after they break up into food,
What's the breaking into? What? Sorry, I didn't get it.
I didn't get the part you just told. I'm confused in
Yeah.
that. I'm asking.
Okay, so first of all, think about proteins. Proteins are made of amino acids, and there are about 20 different types of amino acid that our body protein is made of 20 different types of amino acids, okay? And these amino acids, just like alphabets, when you are bringing alphabets in different order, it's making different words, English words. So if you have different amino acid sequence, they are making different proteins. Out of these 20 different amino acids, they are linked in different sequence. Look at C, the sequence of these amino acids are different from this. So these
So
two are
do
different
they
proteins.
break and make into pools, then turn into different proteins?
Yes, yeah. In the food we are taking, like for example, in case of meat. So when you are eating meat, you are basically getting amino acids. So this amino acid is getting into your body. That is absorbed in the blood. So once it is in the blood, it is in your body. So your body is making use of these amino acids. If you are not eating proteins, you are not providing enough amino acids. So you don't get enough proteins that are needed. Your cells are made of proteins, your hormones, and many structure, made of proteins. So your body is made of proteins, and that will be a big problem if you don't eat an amino acids. Is it clear?
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. Okay, like see, can you see we have different kinds of, so hemoglobin has got different sequence, enzymes, different enzyme. You have trypsin, you have peptidases, you have amylases. So antibodies, what are antibodies? Anybody would like to comment on antibodies?
Antibodies which
Can
help our blood.
Yeah, yes, Sidra, go ahead.
chemicals that work against pathogens?
Yeah, antibodies are your defense system, natural defense system. Yes, Mariam Wasim, you want to add something? Yes, Mariam Beta, go ahead. I think she is disconnected, maybe because of the connection. Okay, Sabia, you want to add?
Antibodies are chemicals that help the white blood cells in the blood to
Correct.
fight
They are
against.
the antibodies. If you have, for example, exposure to pathogen, so let's suppose there's a small cut. Normally, we are protected because we are exposed constantly. We are eating and then we are inhaling things, and that is also generating antibodies, defense cells. These are your defense cells against the pathogens. Also, it does not allow the pathogen or diseases. For example, in case of like these days coronavirus is common, everybody knows this is a virus, right? So when virus will get into your body, so this your body will recognize that is a foreigner, right? Because getting in, which is not used to, your body is not used to with this, it has got some genetic material. So virus will be detected as a foreign agent, maybe be threatening to the body. So your white blood cells, T lymphocytes and all other body cells will generate antibodies, an army, kind of an army against virus. So these chemical will catch, and these are very specific and very selective against this particular virus. Like any antibodies effective against corona will be killing only corona virus, right? Not any other virus, okay? Because these antibodies will are produced against this pathogen, against this germ, a virus or bacteria, and that's why we have the antibodies, and they are defense system. So they are your, we also call it immunity. If you have good immunity or good defense system, your body is efficient and very good, very quick in responding to any threat. If there's any cut in the skin, now your skin is exposed, there's cut in the skin, so you don't want that pathogen or germ should enter the blood. So your cell will definitely now produce more antibodies to kill any bacteria, any germ which is trying to enter the body, right? So these antibodies are protect your immunity cells. And some hormones like insulin are soluble uh, uh, proteins. They are very, these insulins are also there. Insulin in your plasma insulin. Insulin is that hormone which is required to make use of glucose. Yes, Sabiha? No question?
Um,
Okay, so
it's
insulin is
where's mm, insulin insulin is produced by proteins, or it's made out of amino acids.
insulin is produced by the gland, we call it pancreas. So but this is, yes, of course, made of proteins. This is called a hormone is a protein, they are made of amino acids like this. They have but it has got the sequence of insulin is totally different from the sequence of antibodies or enzymes or hemoglobin, right? Hemoglobin is your red blood cell that oxygen carrying, this is carrying oxygen in your blood. And somebody has less hemoglobin, they are called hypoxic, or they have shortness of breath, and their cell will not get enough oxygen. Oxygen is needed, if you remember, in an enzyme reaction, that oxygen is required for the metabolic reaction. So these sequence of amino acids out of these 20 is different from each of these proteins. That is why they have different kind of protein. You have insulin, you have antibodies, you have different enzymes, you have hemoglobin, and you have keratin also, is a fibrous protein which is in the skin or hair. And that, you remember, keratin is the top layer of the skin which is for protecting under the skin, especially the lower part of the skin. Is more resistant, it does not allow pathogen to enter. And also your hair has got keratin, so that is also protein, right? So protein is also needed for the skin and also for the hair development, right? So they are giving you different example. So but you remember that these proteins are made of amino acid. Insulin is also made of amino acids, right? Keratin is also made of amino acids, but the sequence is different. Now what they are showing here, and then I think we'll close the discussion. Okay, who is going to explain this part? What do you see here, and what is the conclusion? What do you conclude from these slides? Okay, here. Yes.
Can I tell?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's and these are two big proteins, and then enzymes break
Uh-huh.
them down, and they're split into single amino acids, and then by builder enzymes, they build they the builder enzymes build them to new proteins.
Yes, very good. For example, you have eaten two different proteins. You have eaten fish and you have eaten uh, meat or maybe egg protein. So when they are digested, you have pool of amino acids. There are so many amino acids now available. Now your body might need, for example, that they insulin is required. So out of these building blocks, they can make insulin. If they want to make antibodies, you have enough amino acids to make antibodies, right? And these insulin, you remember, constantly when they are synthesized, they are working, they are also degraded or they are digested itself. They are destroyed in the body. So you need, of course, insulin to be synthesized, to be produced constantly. You cannot stop it, right? That is why you need a constant amount of amino acids. Yeah. So when you are eating, these are chains of amino acids. See, so this is one protein, this is another protein, and this is called process of digestion. They cut down all these bonds. Okay, so they are releasing
I
single.
have a question.
Yeah, yes, 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 Sidra?
If like they have their two proteins and they're broken down, but at the end they are again getting two large proteins. So like, why did they do this?
Sorry, they are eating two different kinds of protein at the
So,
end.
so
Then
you have eaten two different kinds of protein, and then digestion takes place. So now there's a pool of amino acids, and
oh,
then those amino acids form again two proteins. So why did you have to break those two proteins at the first place?
okay, very good question. Very nice. Yes. Somebody would like to answer that? I think I explained it. Probably you missed this part. Somebody would like to explain this or answer this question?
Miss, what? Sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, I think be focused, please, because then we have short of time. She's saying that these are two different kinds of protein and they are digested, giving amino acid. At the end, it's giving you again two different kinds of proteins. At the first place, why it's needed to be digested? It's better to go just like that. Why is digestion is
Because
needed?
there is a the net or something. So they need to break because the bigger pieces can't go, so they need to break it down to
Uh-huh.
go, and
Okay.
then they turn into pools. Then the amino acids are then the pool then they're choose and made new
Okay, let me put
proteins
this
and
question in another way. So, Sidra, could you please answer these two proteins? Do you think are the same? Which of like this? These two are,
No, these two proteins are different from the other two.
yeah, these are different proteins. These are made by your body inside. These are the things that you are eating, right? These proteins
Yes.
you are eating. Yeah, so they are
Yes.
broken down. If they are not broken down, you won't get any pool of amino acids. If you don't have amino acid pool, you cannot produce. For example, insulin is needed. This is not insulin. This is just meat or egg protein, right? So they are giving you amino acid. Now your body has all the mechanism. It has all the enzyme required for the synthesis of of insulin. So they can make insulin out of these proteins, these amino acids. They can make antibodies. They can make different enzymes. They can make hemoglobin. They can make keratin, for example. So they are just giving you an example. This is an example. So they are different
So
kinds
they
of.
take two. So they take two proteins and they digest it to make some useful protein.
Exactly. So when these proteins are digested, you are getting just amino acid. The purpose of this protein, this is in your diet, okay? You are eating these proteins to get more amino acids. So now this amino acid pool is available inside your body now. So your body, depending, they can use these amino acids for synthesizing, producing any kind of protein, depending what is needed for the cells, for the growth. Maybe insulin enzyme is required, antibodies are required, muscle mass is required, so they can make use of these amino acids, right? So the purpose of this protein, of eating these two protein, is to give more amino acids. If you don't eat proteins at all, and definitely you have pool, but the pool will not be, it will finish someday, right?
Yes.
It's going to finish. You have to replenish them. You have to replace these amino acids so that you have enough supply of amino acids to produce more proteins, right? So these two proteins are not exactly the same that you are eating. These are synthesized inside your body. Like you have, for example, alphabets. If I give you English alphabets, you can make different words, right? But I restrict you that, okay, you have to use only A to D. A, B, C, D, and make different words. Now you are very much restricted to use our only these few alphabets to make different words. So you might, but if I give you the whole 26 alphabets, then you have more capacity to write and make sentences and make different words. So if you have all 20 amino acids available, okay, so your body can make different proteins. Okay, so I think
Oh, okay.
this is just the
I
test
got it.
part. They have given you an example of how to test proteins. The purpose of protein, the protein is there. So I think you will read it, inshallah, and we'll discuss it in the next chapter. You have any question? We'll conclude. It's already late. I think it's 8:37. So, do you have any question?
No.
Okay. Okay. See
No.
you then, inshallah, on Sunday. Okay. Then we'll continue from
Excuse
here.
me.
Yes.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
Okay.
These new amino acids, when they are made, are they like then they're broken down again, and then this keeps on happening?
What is broken down? The amino acid, the enzyme you're talking about, or what?
I'm talking that this new amino and these amino acids chain that new ones, they're like, are they like broken down again, and then this like cycle goes on?
Correct. Yeah, it's maybe, yeah. Some of these amino acids are also like, for example, if insulin, if this is insulin is also made of proteins, right? So the body can recycle. Yes, they can also use these amino acids, but some of these amino acids are even are damaged. You know, these are also damaged. So you have to have a fresh supply of amino acids. Yes, but yes, that's true. They are also digested. They have a lifespan. They will not remain forever, depending on the nature of the proteins, like your cells, red cells, and your insulin, your hormones, and different enzymes. They are also damaged when they are damaged, depending on what kind of products are generated. So they can be, yes, recycled as well.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. See you, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah Hafiz.